Los Angeles, California. This is where many people come to make their dreams come true. And we are here because for the U.S. men's national team, their dream of the home World Cup this summer began right here, right behind our set at Los Angeles Stadium as the USA opened their World Cup this summer with quite a thumping win over Paraguay. We're going to get to that in just a bit, but welcome to this special edition of ESPN FC. I am Alexis Nunes alongside Jürgen, Klinsmann, Herculez Gomez, and Jermaine Jones. And the people and the fans are streaming out behind us, and there will be many, many happy faces going to bed tonight after what was a convincing performance from the U.S. men's national team. We've been counting down to this fixture all day long, but guys, it feels like we've been counting down to this fixture for the last 4 years. Kasey called it almost a preseason, and goals from Folarin Balogun, not just one, but two, and then an absolute stunner of a goal from Jürgen just added the cherry on what was a perfect opening game from the U.S. men's national team, Jürgen. That's what we wanted to see.
That's what you want to see. I mean, on home soil, your first game, you score 4 goals. It can't get any better. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Great energy, atmosphere in the stadium, unbelievable. And one goal more beautiful than the other. And that should give them such a boost of confidence, so much belief to go really, really far in this tournament. But you need a win like that to start a tournament off. And I think they can ride the wave now.
Over 70,000 packing into the Los Angeles Stadium to see this one. They were in the presence of big-name celebrities, Katy Perry, Tom Cruise, and, like I keep saying, Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. But 4-1 win for the USA. Jermaine, you came closest to the prediction. You said 3-1, but you'll take the extra goal all day, every day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I was surprised, and I think we all were surprised, like how the team came out, how they were flying, and I think the first 45 minutes they were completely controlling the whole game with the ball and against the ball. And I think scoring then the goals, I think the bravery, you know, the discipline in the game, it was just a perfect 45 minutes. And I think you have to pick up Tillman, you have to say Christian Pulisic. They were just showing that they're difference makers, and I think they showed us with amazing goals, what Jürgen schon already said. It was beautiful to see, and I think we're all happy right now.
Well, our Kasey Keller is going to join us later on in the show because he, as well as Jermaine and Jürgen, all predicted wins for the USA tonight. But Herculez Gomez, Herc, you predicted a draw in this one. Did Paraguay underwhelm?
No, we're not talking about Paraguay right now. That would be.
I'm just saying because you gave
that
them
would
the
be
chance.
a disservice to the U.S. men's national team. I cannot believe what my eyes have just seen.
Wow.
The most complete performance under Mauricio Pochettino came at the World Cup. The first time we ever see the starting 11, and it was a complete dominance. The first half was as good as I've seen any national team play in any tournament, let alone the World Cup. I said it only rivaled the Portugal first half, 2002, because that Portuguese team was a contender. Yeah. That Portuguese team had a golden generation. This was ridiculous. I have to give Mauricio Pochettino his flowers. When you see the movement of the players in the first half, the intensity, the discipline in which Jermaine had spoken about, I cannot pick out a bad performance from one single U.S. men's national team player. From front to back, from start to finish, it was a complete domination of a team that only gave up 6 goals under Gustavo Alfaro in World Cup qualifying, that made teams like Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil for long stretches and moments lose the game and look bad. This was all the USA. So we could sit here and say what Paraguay did not do, but the U.S. men's national team forced them into those positions.
Yeah, Jürgen, it's amazing to hear Herc explain it right now because he did predict a draw in this one. But truthfully, I don't know if any of us expected quite a dominant performance from the U.S. men's national team. You've overseen many great performances from a U.S. team, but where does this one rank with you? Is it, like Herc says, probably one of the best we have ever seen from a U.S. team?
Yeah, absolutely. If I look back, one of the absolute top 3 performances of a U.S. team the last 20, 25 years. It was just so much fun to see. Obviously, it was a bit lucky. The first goal was an own goal, but who cares? I mean, the lead up to the goal was brilliant. One player stood out first half. I'm not saying above the others because they were all good, as Herc said, but Christian Pulisic, he put up a show. How he kind of prepared certain plays, how he took people on, his movement off the ball, but also how he joined in aggressively to win the ball back. And then Balogun had 2 brilliant moments, scored 2 goals, his first 2 goals in a
Right?
World Cup. And so many things kind of came together, but it was a complete performance. Everyone was on the same page. The way they won the balls back as soon as they lost the balls. I mean, that pressure, Paraguay could not even breathe the first 45 minutes. They didn't know what to do. The second half was a little bit different, but it's normal, after a brilliant half like that. No, it's huge compliments to all of them.
JJ, we've spoken so much about how much help an early goal can be for the U.S. men's national team, especially just giving them that relief and that freedom to play their game. Of course, it was an own goal, but still, it did the job. Was that the moment the game changed for you?
Yes, because the game opens up. And Paraguay is a team, they want to sit, they want to keep it tight. With the own goal, they had to open up. They had to come, and the game will go open. And then you have just a team too. With us, the US is a team too. Well, I always say it's a transition team. So in you were able to see then, but we get the Christian Pulisic on the left side. If we get him the 1-against-1s, that even the bravery to go take on 2 players. And then even the smartness to understand that the player you're playing against has a yellow card, and you go and always again against him. That is just the key points where I say, like, you see the difference on that key players in the team. But again, today we have to say that all of the guys who stand on this field played an out like a high performance. And I think you have to, with all the criticism and what we said and before, and we go hard against them, we have to say today you have to take the hat from the whole troop because they played a really good game.
Herc, was that your game-changing moment of the match as well, that first goal?
No, but it's a very important moment. Jürgen stressed it that he wanted to see an early goal because it would ease up the nerves for the players, it would open the game up. But I think the moment they fabricate their own goal, Folarin Balogun scores the second goal, gives the U.S. men's national team a belief they didn't have until that moment, and then they just foot on the accelerator. And as JJ was saying, they could not allow Paraguay to breathe. They pinned them in their own half. They were constantly, it was third man runners, which I think is very smart of what Pochettino had done. You had mentioned the U.S. men's national team is a transition team, and I agree with you. But in this game, there's nowhere to transition because Paraguay's sitting back. They're no longer in a mid-block. They are in a low block. There is no space. So he throws out Weston McKennie to the right. He throws out Christian Pulisic to the left. And now it's deep midfield runs, second, third man running, and they can't keep track of these players. Oftentimes, the U.S. men's national team had 5 to 6 players in the final third in the box making runs, forcing Paraguay into precarious positions, forcing them to make individual errors, and they just would not allow. They were relentless. I thought it was beautifully done. I joked when I saw the kickoff play that they think they're PSG, Luis Enrique, they kicked that out of bounds, and then they end up playing like PSG. I cannot stress how impressive it was. It's the first time they've ever put up these numbers.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've been dominant in a World Cup. It's not the first time they beat Paraguay in a World Cup, but the last time they did, they made it to a semifinal.
The U.S. men's national team playing like PSG, 2-time Champions League winners. I did not have that comparison on my bingo card this year. Jürgen, you had a nice chuckle when Herc said it, but can you see the similarities there?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying they impressed us.
But they impressed, yes. And that means that Mauricio Pochettino got his 11 perfectly right, Jürgen.
Absolutely perfectly right. But you know what it does, a win like that, when you open up a World Cup with such a fantastic performance, it gives you the spirit is just growing now every day. So that group will become hunger every day. So they are ready for the second game against Australia, doing the same stuff, being relentless. They're asking now for more because now they experienced it themselves. A really good South American team. We beat them, we shut them out of the stadium pretty much. But I don't think that they get big-headed now because they sense something that something special can happen now in the next couple of weeks here in the United States. They will have the crowd behind them now in every game as loud as you can just imagine. In Seattle coming back to LA, and then you just want more. So you are just you have so much appetite now. So there's a lot more to come.
JJ, of course, as a player, you want consistency playing with your teammates around having the same 11. We know that this is the first time Poch has played with this specific 11 because, of course, he was waiting for Chris Richards to come back from injury. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is this the 11 for the next game then?
Yeah, you say normally like you never change a winning team, right? That's how simple it is, and I think like even everything worked out. Like even the guys you brought in later on scored too. So you can, as a coach, can say everything worked exactly after plan how we want it. But the most important is like we said before, like we all hoped and see that they go here with the win to the next game, and I think as a player. You now have all that pressure is gone, and it's you know how it goes in even defense. You know, you can hear it now here. Everybody's excited, and everybody's now hoping and looking forward for the next game.
We got to be careful here. The U.S. men's national team has to be careful because I just compared them to the 2002 U.S. men's national team and what they did in Portugal. If you guys remember, they shocked the world with Portugal, and they went on to tie the host country in South Korea. On paper, maybe a team you could compete a little bit more with. And Poland, it was Poland, a team that wasn't in the cards for you to lose to, that you lost by multiple goals. And if it's not for South Korea beating Portugal again, you don't get through the second round. You don't make the quarterfinal appearance. You don't do history with the those who set up to Mexico. So this is great. This feels good. This gives the country something to believe in, but the job's not done.
The job's not done. But Jürgen, when you see your 11 work so well like they did, of course we're going to know that Australia is a different opponent from Paraguay. They say horses for courses, but you're not making any changes, are you?
You wouldn't, no, unless somebody is slightly injured or has an issue. But I think we can pretty much expect the same lineup in the game against Australia.
Yeah, and of course, it's funny you do mention injury. We are wondering, of course, why Christian Pulisic came off at halftime. We'll continue tracking that situation. But if we do want to speak about individual performances, Christian Pulisic, JJ, he was lively and he was doing earlier on in the first half exactly what we wanted him to do as a leader of this group.
Yeah, I had the pleasure to play with him as a young boy, and I always said this guy he's the heart and soul of this team. So if he gets a good day, you can actually see that the whole team is lifting. He's lifting everybody, because like I always say, and I don't want to compare him to Messi, but if you see his style of play, how he takes players on one against one, and I had, like I said, I had the luck to play against him, and I know how tough it was. And it's not easy to play one against him, and you can able today to see it again that he's a guy who can make the difference, but you need him 100% fit. You need him clear. And what is most important too, that the team around him has to protect him and support him, especially in teams when it goes to more higher countries where you know that they're playing hard, they're picking on him because they know that he's the key player for them. But I think if he stays healthy and he can play with that heart and with that soul, how he showed it today, I think we can have a lot of fun in this tournament.
Yep, as JJ said, he's a guy that you want always at 100%. Herc, we are still trying to see exactly what it is or why Mauricio Pochettino did take him off at halftime. We're going to continue talking about that in just a bit. But right now, we will be taking a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we will continue speaking about this massive win for the USA over Paraguay in their World Cup opener. Well, Los Angeles, California wasn't the only place rocking during the USA's opening game. Just have a look at scenes from Hartford, Connecticut, as the American Outlaws joined up to celebrate. And these are scenes from the Los Angeles Coliseum as well, where there was a watch party and just seas of star-spangled banners and very happy faces and some serious tans and sunburns loading right there. But either way, it would be worth it. And it's not just the fans that were celebrating. Some pretty big names around the world have been celebrating as well, especially right here in the USA. Pat McAfee had this to say: the USA is going to win the World Cup. And RG3 also decided to chime in too. He had this to say: Folarin Balogun has a brace. He is on fire. Has the World Cup on hat trick alert. 3-0 USA. Well, Flo didn't quite get his hat trick, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be trying to get that eventually. Kasey Keller has finally joined the party. Kasey, before we continue our chat, just your thoughts on what was truly a stunning performance from the US.
Yeah, I mean, you take away basically the first minute or the second minute when Paraguay had their one offensive action. And other than that, it was completely dominated from the U.S. They got their goals. Okay, Jürgen, you talked about it. Get that early goal. They got the early goal with the great play from Pulisic to be able to come in and force the own goal. But then they didn't back off. They just kept going, and they kept going, and they got the goals. They got the 3-goal lead. And, of course, you expected to be a little bit more pragmatic with the 3-0 lead going into the second half. The only disappointment, they couldn't keep a clean sheet again for the 9th straight match. So that's something that you got to pay a little attention to. But then the subs came on, they steadied the ship. Gio got a brilliant goal at the end, and just really proud of this team to perform like that in front of a great crowd.
Jürgen, how much do we read into the fact that they still, again, were unable to keep that clean sheet?
I wouldn't read too much into it. Obviously, it's always something to look at, to talk about it, and to make sure you avoid, how it kind of developed the goal. But this is a moment. I mean, I had a moment in 2006 World Cup when I coached Germany. We won the first game, the opening game, 4-2 against Costa Rica. And that was kind of a signal between the team and the fans that there's something special maybe possible in the upcoming weeks. And I sense that here. I sense here that the people believe in something bigger. I'm not saying now you have to win the World Cup, but there's a huge opportunity here. And I think, this team is so sympathetic. They have great characters. They know what they're saying in the camera. They sell the game really well. There's so much attention now all over the country. The game grew so tremendously over the last 30 years here. I think, something special can really happen the next few weeks. And that's why I wouldn't be too deep. I wouldn't dig too deep into one goal that you conceded today.
Herc, you think the same?
Of course. Listen, the reality here is that people in America will pay attention if you give them an opportunity to pay attention. Give them a reason to pay attention to. I don't know anything about curling. I don't know anything about obscure winter sports. But if America's competing in the Olympics and they're doing well, I'm going to tune in. Americans will tune in. There are tens of millions of football fans in this country that like the U.S. men's national team, but maybe aren't in love with the U.S. men's national team. And then there are even more who are just casual fans of the sport. Give them a reason to tune into you. And tonight, they gave them a reason.
They gave them a reason indeed. Like I said, Christian Pulisic was quite lively in that first half. He was eventually subbed off, which set off alarm bells a bit because we do know the role he plays as a talisman in this U.S. men's national team. It seemed to be a bit of a calf issue. Mauricio Pochettino has since spoken, and he said he only subbed him off because as a precaution. So it doesn't seem like we have to worry too. He didn't want to take any risks going ahead, knowing that there is bigger fish to fry. Well, I'm sure Christian Pulisic is always somebody's man of the match before even he steps onto the pitch. But if we're talking about the man of the match now for this one, JJ, it has to be Flo Balogun, right?
Yeah. If you see the 2 goals, if you go after goals, then you have to do it. You have to give it to him for sure. But all over things, I think that he would be happy too that he scored 2 goals, but in altogether you can say that the whole team, I would give the trophy to the whole team. Because like everybody said here already on the table, is that the country needed a show, and the whole team showed today a good show. And I think it's really important now to keep the heads down, keep the work, go back, get rest, and then go for the next one.
Herc?
There's just so many good performances. I mean, at the back, Chris Richards had 83 out of 83 passes. He was absolutely perfect. In the midfield, Tyler Adams was dominant. Weston McKennie sacrificed for the team. But Folarin Balogun scored 2 goals, guys. When's the last time?
There's the striker.
When's the last time you've seen an American forward score 2 goals? I'll tell you when. 1930. That's the last time. This team is making history. Although, if I had to pick a second best player, if I had to pick somebody who I just thought was exceptional, chef's kiss, it would be Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman is something else. Malik Tillman is a special breed of footballer. And the U.S. men's national team today had a dual threat, a player that's box to box and is silky smooth and creates nonstop, but has an intensity to recoup the ball like I've not seen in quite some time. I thought he was outstanding today.
I thought the combination of the 3 midfielders, because there was a question mark on how they were going to play together. And I think we saw them play extremely well together to be able to press, to pin Paraguay into their own half, to cut the field in half as well. That's one of the key components to pressing, is if a team can do a 60-yard switch and get away from the press, they were never allowed the time and space to be able to do that. And then you add, obviously, the first half with Christian and his ability to take players on and create opportunities. And it really was just an overall great team performance.
Yeah, and I think like you guys already addressed it, I think Weston, Tillman, the deep runs, always we are going deep, and then even two, and that's how I played. You celebrated the striker. I have to celebrate Adams in the middle, you know, because the work he did and the balls he gets, and as a matter of fact, if the 6 is playing the game he played today, he gives you the freedom for the guys in front to always go deep pushings, because you know that there's somebody behind you who will make the dirty work and clean up the stuff what has to be cleaned. So I think it's a whole team performance, but yes, I give the strikers the head, because you know, they celebrate if they're scored.
He's the leading goal scorer of the World Cup right now, boys.
The ego of the strikers, you got to just coddle them a little
Flo
bit.
Balogun, golden
Look
boot.
at the 2 strikers over there.
Well,
Look
speaking of Flo Balogun, because Jürgen, we've spoken, I was going to say in the lead up to this World Cup, but really and truly it has been years about who can really be the big man scoring consistently up front as a striker for the U.S. men's national team. Now, it's one thing for you to do it week in, week out with your club, which we have seen Flo Balogun do, but we were questioning if he was ready to be that person on the world's greatest stage. Has he solidified that position now?
Oh, I think so, absolutely. I mean, you think about the World Cup for the entire year, even if you're with your club team. And if you have a good run with your club team, obviously that gives you confidence, and that makes you even hungrier when you go back then to the national team and you have your friendly and preparation games. But when it really matters, that is now a tournament. And when you can start a tournament like he did tonight, and that's why it's only him tonight, the player of the match, really. You know, with all the respect to the entire team and every single individual performance, he deserves this little award because scoring in a World Cup 2 goals is something very special. I hope it's not unique, because I hope there is more to come from him. But it will give him even more desire to connect with his teammates, to do the work for the other ones too, and to be hungry for the next opportunity. And now he has also the confidence to say, okay, give me 2 more opportunities or chances against Australia. I will put one in. And this is so his mindset is now developing, or it's kind of a bit, his brain is getting wired in a way that he is ready, to score 1 goal out of 2 chances.
Jürgen Klinsmann has spoken, the gaffer has spoken, the world champion has spoken. The debate is over. He said, forget about what you guys think. It is Flo Balogun who's the man of the match. But as Jürgen said, I mean, the debate's over now.
I don't even know why we're having the debate. I just told you, 1930. There are all-time GOATs for the U.S. men's national team. Landon Donovan never scored 2 goals in a game. Clint Dempsey never scored 2 goals in a game. Eric Ronaldo was a serviceable forward, never scored 2 goals in the game.
Brian McBride.
McBride. We're talking about guys who could be on the Mount Rushmore for the U.S. men's national team, have never had this type of moment. And he's just getting started. This was the first game of the tournament. The first game. He's got Australia next. I'm not saying he's making a run at the Golden Boot. I'm telling you, you can get excited about who you have at 9.
I hope you guys can hear the crowd behind us, because they are absolutely full of confidence and loving it right here at Los Angeles Stadium. They might as well come join
They voted Flo Balogun as well.
They voted Flo Balogun as well as the man of the match, indeed. But JJ, when you see the way that Flo Balogun is playing, what's his ceiling?
You know, he has something special, and I think the second goal, you can see it, you know, where he put with the left, put it up in a, you know, it's in I think I have to tell, there's 2 strikers next to me that have it's like, if you score 2 goals, that gives you a lifting, and I think you need, as a team, you need somebody in the front where you know he feels good, and strikers always had that. We had one with Clint Dempsey, we had somebody with us too, where you know that they need that moment, you know, they need goals, because that helps them to level them up. But then there's the next thing is like that what they need is, they need the team behind them where they know, okay, they'll give me the balls, they will give it. And as a player in the back, you will know that if I give him the ball, if I give him 1 or 2 chances, he will use the chances.
Alexis, confidence is a scary thing. And I got 2 guys to the right and to the left of me that have scored a goal at a World Cup. One has scored multiple goals. You feel like you can do anything when the ball goes in the net. You get Folarin Balogun, you get this U.S. men's national team confident to what's coming next. I'm not saying good things are going to happen, but if you keep working like this, good things are bound to happen.
Ooh, we are all drinking the Kool-Aid. We are feeling the magic indeed here in Los Angeles after that performance from the U.S. men's national team. Well, there have been celebrations all around the host nations, from Mexico to Canada to the USA. We'll be seeing which host nation had the better World Cup so far after this.